Hey everybody, it's Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com coming to you with our special edition of Today in Sports Betting, taking a look at the baseball season that's coming up. Scott, it is a week from today that the major leagues get underway, April Fool's Day, but it's, April Fool's, it's for real as they fire up 162 game season played in their own parks in front of fans. Wow.
I'm sure there'll be no issues at all during the course of the season.
It'll be fine. Everything will be just fine, Scott. Don't worry about it. So let's take a look. Yesterday we took a look at the East. By the way, if you haven't checked that out, we got the AL East and the NL East already in the can. Check that video if you would. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Central as we move just like the Pioneers from east to west. Today we're going to stop for supplies in the middle of the country and take a look first at the American League Central, Scott. All the hubbub is about who?
Chicago White Sox.
Chicago White Sox, man. They remind me of the Cleveland Browns of 2019, where they made some nice upgrades, and everybody said, you know what, this is the year for the Browns, and they bet them down to a ridiculous level. Their win total was ridiculous. They hadn't done anything yet, and they didn't do anything that year. So
it's a little different for the White Sox, though, because they did make the playoffs last year, but I understand your point.
Yeah, they sort of made the playoffs. I mean,
they were one game back of winning the division, so they
but that was a rinky-dink deal. I mean, that's sure they played well for.
You try telling Marlins fans they didn't make the playoffs last season and see what happens. Okay, you try telling them that.
The Marlins were different. They're a cute.
I'm just joking, but I'm saying that some teams they're going to take credit for making the playoffs, even though if it was
I understand. But the White Sox are not a prohibitive favorite. They're a minus money favorite, Scott. Minus 115 for the White Sox.
I see 130.
Okay, I see 115. So
that's what I'm saying. So they're even bigger favorites if you shop around.
Yeah, by all means, if you want to take the White Sox, keep shopping around. You might find 150.
Yeah,
maybe you'll be happy with that.
They're definitely the favorites to win this division based on every single book I found. And
they're fine. They're a nice team. They've got a decent lineup. Something we didn't talk about on the radio because we did this on the radio today too. We can talk about Tim Anderson, Scott. That guy can rake.
I did mention Anderson on the radio show, but thank you for listening.
I don't remember you doing that. I don't think you did.
I'll just go through the actual team here. I like the White Sox roster a lot, so I understand why on paper this team is projected to win the division. The bullpen's very good. Picked up Liam Hendricks as the closer, which definitely helps. Still have Crochet, who should be your setup guy. Very solid. For the rotation, you got Giolito, who's good. Keuchel, who's a little bit past his prime, but still a pretty serviceable guy. I don't know about a number 2, but he's still a pretty good starter overall. You got Lance Lynn, who has had a bit of a renaissance year or two. I'm kind of curious if he'll be able to keep it up. Dylan Cease, who I'm not a big fan of, but he's got good stuff allegedly. And you got a 5th spot, which is still kind of up in the air. Now, the lineup is where, of course, the White Sox should get most of their hype because of the fact that this lineup is absolutely loaded from top to bottom. You have Jose Abreu, who won the AL MVP. You got Madrigal. You got Moncada. You got Tim Anderson, batting champion. You got Eloy Jimenez. You got Robert. They brought back Adam Eaton for a nice little reunion there. Pretty good outfielder. And you got Grandal at catcher. This team's loaded from top to bottom. The only question you have here is the manager. They bring back a fossil in Tony La Russa, and I don't think that's going to go well. Do you have any thoughts on La Russa?
Can you imagine being, like the hotshot up-and-coming AAA manager? Like, maybe this is going to be the year that I get a shot, get an interview.
You got skipped over for a guy who hasn't managed in like 10 years.
And they go with Tony La Russa. Come on.
The only thing I know is that baseball, of course, has been a very analytics-driven league.
Nothing screams analytics like Tony La Russa.
That's what I'm saying. I don't really think that La Russa is going to have a McCarthy type of, quote, reinvention of his craft where he allegedly started embracing analytics. I don't think that's happening for La Russa.
He's a rub a little dirt on it kind of guy.
He's going to come in, and I hope he has a designated driver as well, so hopefully that helps out. But you have to throw in a jab there. You got to do it. But I feel like I understand hypothetically why they brought him, because they wanted the World Series experience. It's a different era. Locker rooms aren't the same as they used to be.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll be able to.
This is the live ball era.
Now,
So
I don't know exactly what La Russa would say in the locker rooms back when he was the manager for some of those Cardinals teams and even onward, but
he'd say, pack in a hurry. We've got to catch the train.
I was going to say, I don't exactly know if what he's going to say is going to stay in touch with the current youth of the team.
All right. So
I think the White Sox will be very good. I think they'll probably make the playoffs, but I can't pick them to win the division.
No value laying money on the White Sox to win them. No, none, zero, zip. So let's talk about who we do like here, Scott, at a decent price. The Minnesota Twins plus 140.
The team that's won the division for the last couple of years is around plus 160.
All they do is win, baby.
Except in the playoffs.
Well, you do what you can.
All-time record.
Those guys can bop.
Yes,
they can flat out bop.
I think we'll agree on this. I know that we're not going to spend too much time because I feel like this is definitely a two-horse race. The lineups are almost identical with the White Sox. You can argue the White Sox are better, but both these offenses should be top 4 in the league. These offenses are going to score a lot of runs. The rotation, I do think, gives a little bit of an edge to the Twins. You got Maeda at the first spot, Berrios, who had a bit of a down year but still a solid pitcher. You got Pineda, who was 2-0 last year, a very shortened season. You got J.A. Happ, which is a move I'm not a big fan of. But you got Matt Shoemaker at the 5 spot, and he was actually pretty good with Toronto when healthy, with quotes, because he's injured every year.
He's kind of the wild card.
When healthy, he's pretty good. And you got Kalame as your closer, who I do like. You still got Rogers as your setup guy. I think the bullpen's pretty good, and the lineup with the likes of Donaldson and Sano and Garver and Buxton and Cruz and Kepler. You also got Andrelton Simmons, who's a great fielding shortstop as well, which should help. This team's really stacked, and if you're looking at these teams as being a 1A, 1B situation between the White Sox and the Twins, take the plus 160.
Oh, totally agree there. You've also got Miguel Sano, who you think anybody else will be ahead of him as far as strikeouts go?
Depends if Gallo gets injured or not.
Well,
Gallo's got a case. Suarez has a case for the Reds. We'll get into him in a little bit. You have a couple of options, but Sano should be towards the top.
If he was in NASCAR, they'd call him a wrecker or checker kind of guy. He's
Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
He's Ricky Spinhouse.
Ricky Spinhouse Jr. Yeah.
He's either going to strike out. Either way, when his
feet, or it's not, or he's just walking back to the dugout.
When he leaves the box, he's going to eventually be back in the dugout before somebody else bats.
Whether he hits it or not, you will feel the force of his bat swinging through.
All right, so we've got our top 2. We like the Twins very much.
It's a 2-horse race.
Anybody else get you excited out of these next 3?
I think the Royals are a potential dark horse, but I still think they're about a year or 2 away. I still like the lineup. I think the bullpen's pretty good with Holland and with Stallman as their pretty nice setup and closer combo there. But the rotation is still a really big work in progress. You're still trusting a lot of young arms who you don't know if they'll be able to, I'd say, either duplicate that level of success they had last year where with more film, or just actually find command, because Singer was kind of all over the place last year.
Right.
It was kind of a disaster. But the rotation's not very good. I like the over in their win total. I think Cleveland's going to be really bad. I think that people are expecting this team to be good because of the rotation. I like Bieber, of course, and I like Plesac, but you didn't replace Lindor or Santana. Your lineup's just not going to score any runs, and that was already an issue. Besides Ramirez, who do you have? You got Reyes, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
Am I forgetting about somebody? Because that's kind of all they have.
No.
And they also lost Brad Hand, who was their closer. I think Karinchak's pretty good, but – Hand was a veteran, reliable guy, and I don't know if Karinchak is going to come in and suddenly become a 40-save guy in his first season. There's a lot of question marks with that team.
All right, so let's do this real fast. Let's run through them.
And the Tigers are bad, by the way.
Let's. I just wanted to do this Tigers starting rotation. How about Matt Boyd, Jose Urena, Skubal is your 3. Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
Julio Teheran is number 4, and Spencer Turnbull, who again, somebody's got great stuff that I've always loved, but he can't find the plate with both hands. So
it's opposing team total overs right there.
And then you can play. Have you ever heard of me? As we look at the lineup, as you got Cabrera, you got Willie Castro, Cabrera, and Scope. and then you start
I
no
always
more
like
Mazzara.
I always like Jacoby Jones, but he's injured all the time.
Yep, he is. So let's run through this. White Sox, we're selling on minus 115.
I think they'll make the playoffs, but not win the division.
Over under 90.5.
I'll lean slightly over.
Twins buying or selling at plus 140.
I'm buying at 160 because I can chop around.
Agreed. 88.5.
Well, I think they're going to win the division, so over.
Over. Yes, correct. Cleveland plus 900. Any interest?
No.
Take a flyer? No.
Under.
Over under 81.5. Under.
They're going to have a losing record.
That's correct, sir. Kansas City plus 2,800.
No, but I think they could get off to a bit of a hot start. You might be able to maybe flip in, maybe pick up a couple units if you can cash out early. But I like the over in the win total.
Yeah, 72.5. You and I think.
I think they'll finish with around 76.
Yeah, I think they're a 77 to 80 win team.
Yeah.
And Detroit plus 5,000. If you love the Royals, you're going to love the Tigers.
If they bring the trash cans with AJ Hinch, then maybe they'll be able to win the division. But
67.5.
Under.
That's a 100 loss team, buddy. Who's worse, Detroit or the team we're going to talk about here in this division?
The team that we're going to talk about, I think, is the worst team in the entire league.
Let's do it. This is the NL Central. Got the St. Louis Cardinals are the favorite, plus 120, followed by Milwaukee, Cincy, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. And let's talk about this Cardinals team, which, by the way, has got greatest fans in baseball.
Yeah, they're definitely up there.
They're wankers. It's kind of a joke in Kansas City when they.
I know it is. That's why I was kind of I was helping you hammer home the point.
The GFIB. But they do have a pretty fair lineup. I have to give them that. You know, we like this starting rotation. We were on them a lot last year. We really made some money on this Kim kid.
It wasn't even Flaherty. It was Kim last year.
Yeah, Kim, and he's still got some back tightness that he's got a problem with, but hopefully that'll be worked out by the time spring training is over here. Well, next week. But they've got Flaherty, Wainwright, and Kim up at the top. Carlos Martinez, so we'll see if he can capture his form of years gone past, and then they've got Ponce de Leon and Miles Mikolas. They're going to fight it out. So.
Forgot about Mikolas because he got injured basically before the season even started last year.
Right. So that's a pretty fair 6-1, a 6-pack there.
Yeah, and the bullpen's decent if you actually think Jordan Hicks can stay healthy. I don't really have any faith in anybody who throws 104 staying healthy besides Chapman, and Chapman's just an absolute truck. So I don't really think Hicks, who's already had Tommy John about a year ago or so.
That sounds right.
I don't think he'll stay healthy. But you still got injured Noah back there. You still have some decent options. The lineup, though, of course, is where this team definitely improved. They picked up Arenado and a very nice, cool $50 million. Shout out to the Rockies. But looking at the actual lineup here, still very solid. You ended up losing Wong, but you ended up still getting Edmund, who's going to play second, just fine.
Yep.
You still have Goldschmidt at first base. Got Arenado at third. You got Carpenter, who I don't even know if he can hit anymore.
You got Carl DeYoung hitting cleanup in this.
I think DeYoung's pretty good as a shortstop. I don't think he should be hitting cleanup. I think that Arenado will probably take the cleanup spot. But you look through the rest of the team, Yadier, of course, is up there, one of the best fielding catchers of all time. The hitting has started to decline. But
it didn't start that high. But
fielding-wise, you know that this team should be one of the best fielding teams in the league.
Doing it the Cardinal way, man.
I like this team, but I don't think that they are going to win the division at a plus 105. I don't think really any team in this division is that good, so I don't really want to be laying basically even money on a team in this division. So I have no interest for them, but I do think
about the second betting choice, and that's Milwaukee, and that's another team that just throws a lot of arms at you out of the rotation there with Brandon Woodruff. I don't know if he's the most underrated starter in baseball. He just might be.
I'm a huge Woodruff guy.
Corbin Burns, who was almost as good last year, he's very good as well. The guy that they brought over from Korea, Josh Lindblom.
Don't really like him that much, but still.
No, he looked like a great starter in Korea. And then Adrian Hauser and Brett Anderson, they're fine 4 or 5 guys.
Yeah, Hauser's fine. I think that you also look at this team and talk about the bullpen, of course. You had Hader, who everyone knows as being a great closer. They finally have the premier setup guy in Devin Williams, who really bursted onto the scene last year. And, yeah, I think the bullpen's pretty solid as well. The lineup definitely had some overhauling. Now, some of it was just based on the fact that Lorenzo Cain came back. They ended up being the recipient of Colton Wong, which should definitely help out the defense. But they also got Jackie Bradley Jr. So this team really seemed to buy into actually saving runs by improving the actual defense of the team, which I think was important. But they're my pick to win the division. And it's not just because I think that they're the best team. For value purposes, I think this team actually has a decent ceiling. And assuming that Yelich can return somewhat to form, you have a top 5 player in the league. And you got Cain back.
In who?
Yelich.
Yelich?
Yeah.
Oh, no, those days are past. No. Not. You're talking about this year. Like 2015.
What
this year?
Yeah, I'm saying if Yelich returns to form from like 2 years ago, he could be a top 5 player in the league again. That's an if.
That's a stretch. That's a stretch, my friend.
I think that you're selling a little bit too much on Yelich, but the point I'm trying to say is that this team does have upside, and I do think Cain means a lot to that team. I think at around 3-1, I actually like this. I actually like this team. I think this team has value at the current number.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I think that's a.
I'm kind of curious why I don't like Yelich that much.
He's fine. He's fine. He's not a top 5 player. I don't think there's.
What you have 1 MVP or you have 2?
Back to back.
Why is he not a top 5 player?
Because it's not 5 years ago.
It was like 2 years ago.
Dude.
5 years ago. He's still in the Marlins 5 years ago.
No. He had his PED thing, 4 years ago?
We're talking about Christian Yelich, right?
Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, you know what? You're right. I'm thinking of Ryan Braun. Sorry, buddy.
What are you talking about? Thank you. I don't know what you're talking about. Yelich is clearly around a top 5 player in the league.
I had Ryan Braun on the brain.
Oh no, Braun got shipped off. He basically just was offered. You can come back if you want. And he basically.
You're right. No.
Okay, so you were thinking of Ryan Braun. Okay, cool. Because you were really confusing me there for a second.
Yeah, no. And Yelich only has 1 MVP, by the way. But yes, yeah, he could be.
Down year last year, but that his upside is still top 5 in the league.
I'm still not sure I'm going to buy. Even though we're talking about the same guy, I'm still not sure I'm buying top 5. I would buy top 10. I'll give you that. How about
That's still a good place to start.
Yeah, he's fine. He's
for a 3-1 team. It's a good place to start.
A great 3 hitter. Yeah, I certainly like them. I certainly like them. You have them at actual 3. I got them at 275. You have 300.
I see 3 at DraftKings.
Yeah, I'll take that. I like that a lot better than I like St. Louis at 120. Now the question becomes: anybody else you like? You interested in playing Cincinnati at plus 350?
No. We talked about this on the radio show. I don't understand the Cincinnati love. You can't lose a Cy Young Award winner and expect me to think that you're going to remain competitive.
Well, I mean, you can. It depends on who you replace him with, but the
lineup fell apart last year, and the pitching carried the team. And now, of course, you lose your best starter in Bauer. Why do I think this team's going to be really good? This team had 1 good year in 15 years?
Yeah, and speaking of guys that are done,
Joey Votto.
Yeah, and now he's on the COVID list.
Yeah, of course, Votto's a great character, probably a future Hall of Famer, but he's past the prime at this point.
I would have to look at his numbers sometime we have more time. I think he's borderline. I would have to see.
I think he's borderline as well. I didn't say he'd officially be a Hall of Famer, but
I don't know. It's a good topic for discussion because I would like to look at his overall numbers.
He's one of the best on base percentage guys that I could remember.
Yeah. When in his prime, he was absolutely something. So yeah, there's nobody here in this lineup that really scares me.
I like Castellanos a lot. I think Suarez has a lot of power, but he's
Suarez is another checker record kind of guy.
He's another 150-plus strikeout guy.
Oh, yeah, easy.
But you're looking at the team. Moustakas I like, but, he was pretty good last year. But it's the pitching. I just can't look past this team and just go, you lost one of the best pitchers in baseball, but I'm sure he'll do fine. I don't feel that way. I think.
Well, they didn't replace. The problem is they didn't replace him with anybody.
No, that's the problem. You have Castillo.
If you're at least you look at the stand, you look at your fans and say, well, we got rid of a Cy Young Award winner, but we brought in, some not an ace, but a 1 at least.
Yeah, you brought in somebody hypothetically a Darvish.
Where somebody that's a perfect example. Or somebody, if you squint real hard, you go, well, maybe that's close. But
Sonny Gray was a really good number 3 for this team. Number 2, think is a little bit much, but you're going to put all your stock into Molly and Wade Miley?
It'll be fun to see Molly and Miley starting on back-to-back days, but that's
what
really
I'm
about
saying.
it.
It's just you're looking at the team here, and it's just I understand that this team has some potential, but I think this team's going to fall apart.
Well, and I don't even know who they're 5. Now, you remember they have Sonny Gray. So
I just said that Gray, I think, is a better 3 than a 2.
oh, okay. I thought you said Molly. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying Molly's now their 3.
Well, yeah, and Gray's fighting injuries. He's got a back problem.
Mm-hmm. He's been good for them overall, but then again, he's been a 3.
So now they're looking at T.J. Antone to take the spot.
Move everybody up one spot. I don't think that's going to work out. So I don't really like the Reds, but I think that they're going to potentially be in the same boat as some fans over at Wrigley.
Yeah, I know we got a lot of Cubs fans. Again,
serious problems with that team, man.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that rotation. You know, I think Hendricks is fine, and then it falls off the cliff for me with Arrieta and Davies.
Who were arguably their best 2 starters last year? You'd say Darvish and it was either Hendricks or Lester, right?
It was Hendricks, I would say.
Okay, but
I'm not going to say Lester, no.
You lost your best starter and your 3rd best starter and replaced them with Jake Arrieta and Zach Davies.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
Trevor, how am I supposed to actually think that you improved at all during the offseason? You did not.
And they've still got Kimbrel as their closer. Which
you have a gas can at closer. I don't know what are you trying to do with the pitching staff here?
You had a whole 6 months to fix that, and you didn't.
No, you didn't do anything. You traded off your best pitcher to the Padres for some prospects, which means you're basically admitting to rebuilding. Plus, Bryant and Baez might leave at the end of the year. I'm assuming they're going to trade at least one of them by the deadline. You think Chicago's buying at the deadline? I don't.
I don't see that happening. No, I think they're.
I don't want to say fire sale, but it's going to be close to a fire sale.
I think they're in 4th place and 12 games back or so. You know, I mean, I think it's a possibility. It probably won't be quite that bad, but.
And they replaced Schwarber with Jock Peterson, who's basically the same guy.
Yay.
I don't really know how I'm supposed to look at this team and go, you really improved. You got Brandon Workman now as one of your bullpen guys. Like, that's really a step in the right direction. Like, no, you didn't do anything.
I know.
Getting a bunch of prospects for Darvish tells me this team isn't really focused on this season, which is a problem because you have a lot of key players under contract here. So I think you're going to see a massive explosion and a lot of trades for a lot of prospects. So I don't want anything to do with the Cubs. I would take the under on their win total as well. I'm
kind of with you the same way, bud. And this is I guess it's sort of a wide open division. It's probably as close to a wide open division as we have, wouldn't you say?
Yes, but that does not include the 5th team because that's just worth talking about for the comedy.
Oh, by the way, you see Kirby Yates is out for the season.
Oh, not fun for Toronto.
Yeah, not fun for Toronto at all. So everything we said about Toronto yesterday, we take it all back. But yeah, so and then Pittsburgh just dreadful. They're plus 8,000, Scott.
That still might be a little bit too low.
All right, let's do it.
This would be amazing Mets territory if this team actually ended up winning the division and making the playoffs.
Oh, it would be probably even more amazing than that. So
it was awful.
Let's rip through it here as we close it out. St. Louis plus 120. You buying or selling?
I'm selling.
87.5 is their win total.
I'll take the over.
Take a small
lean. It'll be around 89.
Take a small lean under there. 86.
Okay.
Milwaukee plus 275. You buying or selling?
Best value on the board.
You got it at 300. I'm buying. Yep. 82.5. Over. Cincinnati plus 350.
They should be around 7-1.
So you're selling there 81.5.
Under. What do you think the Reds should be? I think they should be around 7-1.
Yeah.
Maybe 5.5.
550. Yeah.
I just don't have any faith in this team.
81.5. I'll take an over there because somebody's got to get some wins in this division.
I'm taking the under because I think that they're just going to be bad.
Cubs plus 550. No interest there, right?
Nope, not at all.
79.5.
I got the under. I think they're literally going to dump everything at the All-Star at the trade.
I think that's solid. And here's the interesting one, Scott. Pittsburgh plus 8,000. We've already decided no on that one. 59.5 is a win total.
I would look to find the worst record in the league, and I would bet on the Pirates. This team is garbage.
Under. This team loses 100 games easily.
Minimum. They might be pushing 110.
Well, yeah, because the 59.5 is still that's 102. I think they do worse than that.
They might lose 110.
I don't know about that. They're going to lose 105 for sure.
I don't know what this team has. Their best player was Josh Bell, and they traded him for scraps.
Magic beans, buddy.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have anything. Your second pitcher in your rotation is Chad Kuhl.
I've got him as the top pitcher in the rotation. So
it's either him or Mitch Keller.
It's even better.
That's bad.
Yeah, I've got Keller. I've got Kuhl, Anderson, Keller, Brubaker, and Brault. So
they have one prospect who might win Rookie of the Year in Brian Hayes because he's going to be playing every day because this team is awful. So if you want to look for some optimism, maybe a Rookie of the Year on Brian Hayes. But this team is so bad. This team is awful.
Yeah, and they'll have him traded at the end of next year, so that'll work out well.
They're my pick to be the worst team in the league. So
all right, there you go. So that's our breakdown of the Centrals this year. And we're curious to see what you guys think. How do you guys have it? How do you guys have it sussed out? Drop us a note in the comment section. Let us know what you think. Let us know if we're crazy. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about the West, the division that certainly the people think the NL pennant winner is going to come out of. We'll talk about whether we can get an AL pennant winner out of the West. Spoiler alert, not bloody likely. We'll see what happens. But you guys, as always, we appreciate you watching. Appreciate you dropping us a line. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe. All that good stuff. I'm looking forward to baseball season, and I know a lot of you out there probably are too. So for myself, for Scott Reichel, for all of us over here at Winners and Winers, appreciate you guys watching today. Take care. Good luck on all of your plays today, and we'll see you next time on Today in Sports Betting. Take care, everybody.